I don't think that's exactly where I was. Well, whatever. Hi, and Merry Christmas. Um, so first of all, I'm gonna get the. You know what? That's not what I meant. What I meant to do is, so I write books, and they're available on Amazon in hardback, paperback, and ebook. And I think books make good Christmas presents. Actually, they make excellent Christmas presents because they get people off the devices for a while. Well, if you get the physical copy, it gets people off the devices for a while, and it gives you a good story. Anyway, my books are, um, I mean, okay, they're available on Amazon in hardback, paperback, and ebook, and there will be 6 links in the description below, whether you're on Twitch or YouTube. And, um, honey, I need my arm. Sam went and laid on my arm. He'll put it to sleep, and that will not be good. Um, anyway, so, okay, let's quit getting distracted here. Okay, so okay, they're available on Amazon in hardback, paperback, and ebook. They are The Rolling Sea Beginnings Book 1, Pirate Star, The Rolling Sea Beginnings Book 2, Misfortune, The Rolling Sea Beginnings Book 3, Hard Times, The Rolling Sea Traitor Book 1, Esperanza's Party, The Rolling Sea Traitor Book 2, The Island, a whole separate series called Adopted, and the first book is Coral. And, yeah. And if you're watching me on Twitch, please follow and chat. If you're watching me on YouTube, please like, share, comment, subscribe, notification bell, and please get those valid public watch hours up. Well, I thought this was going to be much scarier than what, hold on, I forgot to put the garage doors in. Um, that garage door's in. That one is not. That one is not. Yeah, so I was gonna go and paint houses today, and I was like, you know what? We need driveways and stuff. The repainting houses, that is pretty easy, and I don't have to worry about it too much. Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Okay, the two-story has it. Well, if I'm missing one, it's my fault. I will say it that way. If I'm missing one today, it'll be my fault. I mean, the only problem is that, and I did not work on this while I was gone, so we must have worked on this at a different point in time. You know, when my husband was putting up the lanterns. I think it makes it look fancier. So, I kind of like it. So anyway, I believe we're on Street 7 and I believe we're on Street 7 and we're gonna get as much of this stuff done as possible. I really don't have that much time today because I'm trying to get chapter 58 done. I got 57 done yesterday, finally. I was dawdling and dawdling and dawdling. You know, just like putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. I finally finished the the last season of. Hold on, I'll make sense in a minute. The Masked Singer, so I don't have to worry about that unless I want to start watching season 1 and 2, and yeah, which I do. I want to finish watching the other seasons so I can, so I can know who won and all that. And then, I've never seen what Robin Thicke does. He's one of the judges on, or one of the guessers. Yeah, I guess it's one of the guessers on the Masked Singer, and I've never seen what he does outside the Masked Singer, but he was given spoiler alerts like every 5 seconds. Like, everybody has already seen every single season, and technically, if you like the show, maybe you should have seen every single season, but I have not because I didn't have access to the Masked Singer before that. I mean, before we got Hulu. So, we got Hulu for free, so it's got commercials. But I really want to get Disney Plus and Hulu without commercials, but it's like $15 or something like that, and we don't have it. So, I mean, literally, he just paid the mortgage, and he said that we got $60 left. Last month it was $50, so even better. um, it went up by like $50, I think. And the other bills, I don't think got paid. We're trying, but I don't seem to be able to get a job outside the house. And And then when I do, it doesn't last very long. I think Walmart was the longest I've ever um I've ever had a full-time job that lasted. And that only lasted for 3 years. So, yeah. Anyway. But yeah. I'm thinking, if people would start buying my books, we wouldn't have to worry about this kind of stuff. We might be able to um we might be able to pay the bills and eat if everyone would start buying my books. And in case you are one of those people who wants to, who wants another series to read, there are plenty more. We've only got 6 on there right now, but there's plenty more where that came from. And I actually had to fix something yesterday because it didn't make enough sense. I had Morgan introduce William to her cousin Japheth. It's a, honorary cousin thing. But, yeah, so I had Morgan. When those people that's been in the family so long that you call them cousin or brother or uncle or whatever. Um, so I want to, anyway, hold on. My brain is not focused today. So anyway, we have Morgan introduced William to Japheth, and then, um, and then William introduces his wife to Japheth. William's wife is Kat, Kat. And then Jonah goes and answers the door, and chaos. Well, there's a little bit more to it than that, but, pretty much that's it. Well, yeah, but there was Samantha and Alicia and John. And for some reason, it cannot say Alicia. It keeps saying Alicia. Well, if I wanted it to be Alicia, I would have made it Alicia. So I ended up having to spell it Aleesha. And it works, so. My question is okay, so I'm watching or I was before I started streaming, watching the Elf Christmas special. Um, oh, it says Elf's Special Christmas. I keep saying it wrong, apparently. Uh, anyway, so I'm watching that. And it's sad because there's a little girl and she's not going to make it to her next Christmas. But Elf kind of, makes her feel better about it because, moving on to the new place is, gonna be okay. She'll make new friends and, you know, it'll be. Would you? Oh my goodness. That's stupid. That's all I was trying to do. Anyway, the problem is that's a sad episode because you know that she's gonna, um, you know, you know that she's not gonna make it to her next Christmas. But I was wondering why they didn't try to contact another doctor, see if they could find the expert in the field, and see if they can find the expert in the field and make it to where she does live. I'm not saying that everybody is going to be rescued like that, but, I don't believe in giving up. Especially to totally change the subject, I made a, yeah, that helps if you put the correct thing in. I made a puzzle. We've got a puzzle game. Does it say what its name is? Oh, Microsoft Jigsaw Puzzles. So I made a puzzle of our cat. I thought, okay, that'll be easy. I made a puzzle out of coral. And if I can figure out a way to submit it as a even if I don't get paid, if I can find a way to make her be a puzzle for everybody to put together, I'm gonna do it. But she's okay. The thing is that I took a picture of her at the top of the stairs because she was always scared of heights. I don't know why. She's like the only cat that's ever been scared of heights. But she was like, really afraid of it. But she loved sleeping at the top of the stairs where she could look down at everything and feel perfectly safe. Um, I don't know how she did that. But I thought it was so cool. But anyway, so I've got a picture of her at the top of the stairs. Well, I know it's the top of the stairs. I don't think you all are gonna know. Oh. I'm really bad at trying to talk to people on chat paying attention to the chat because I get into playing whatever I'm playing. And I feel really bad when I don't catch them because I like to talk to people. I want to talk to people. Maybe somebody needs somebody to talk to, and I'd be willing to be that person. Um, okay. I'm not so great at saying, um, because I don't know myself. But when you're like trying to figure out a Christmas present for like say your mom or your sister or whatever, um, I'm not very good at figuring out Christmas presents. I just get them whatever I think they would like. Or like if I was gonna get my mom a sweater, what I don't think looks good, she does. So, um, or like Mama always wore green. That was her favorite color. And I always thought that was so weird. Um, like I like those colors. Like I like green and orange and red and blue and all the neat colors. I do not like brown. I think brown belongs on a tree. Doesn't belong on me. That was not supposed to rhyme. It just happened to. Um, yeah. I'm not really good at figuring out what somebody might like for Christmas. Well, my dad, I pretty much got figured out. One year we got these little remote control cars, but they were like tiny. They were like smaller than a Hot Wheels car. Um, and I know my dad loves electronics. Well, we can't afford electronics a lot, but and he likes pocket watches. Um, and of course he likes Disney. Um, I don't know, that may not be of course for you all, but my dad loves Disney stuff. Um, so like if we had the money, I would probably get him, if I could find one, a Mickey Mouse waffle iron, waffle maker, whatever they call it at the store now. Um, it's the one where you put the batter in and you press it down, and then a little bit later, because I don't know how long it takes, but a little bit later you have a waffle in the shape of Cinderella's carriage or Mickey Mouse's head or something like that. But I would probably go with the Mickey Mouse's head. Um, yeah, that was pretty cool. So for for um for my son graduating from high school, I guess they asked him what he wanted to do. What was that? Then got snorky all of a sudden. Um, anyway, anyway, they asked him what he wanted to do, I guess, and he decided he wanted to go see Star Wars Land at Disneyland. I know it's but two, or Galaxy's Edge, or whatever, but I'm gonna call it Star Wars Land because most of the other lands, they are, you know, Adventure Land, Fantasy Land, Tomorrow Land, common theme here. But then there's, Critter Country and New Orleans Square and whatever the heck you want to call Star Wars Land. Um, Although I do agree, Critter Land doesn't exactly work. And I think they renamed it again. That it's Tiana's Bayou Country or something like that. They've renamed that land. If I'm right that they renamed it, they've renamed it at least twice. That's ridiculous. Because it um, used to be Bear Country because of Bear Country Jamboree and the Bear Restaurant. And then when they added Splash Mountain, it became Critter Country because we didn't just have bears. But yeah, I noticed that when people are showing their their Disneyland vacation or their Disneyland trip in Pop's Disney Adventures case and Attractions Live because they go there every day, and Ace, Snoopy, these are all people that go to Disneyland quite a lot. Although Ace Snoopy I think he kind of likes DCA better sometimes. DCA is very short for Disney California Adventure. And I don't think I'm gonna like it as much as Disneyland. So, like, we'll probably get if we ever get to go to Disneyland again, we'll probably get park hopper passes, but I really don't know that we're gonna park hop that much. So I was trying to actually paint all the houses and then do this later because, this is this is something, it was, okay, so it was supposed to go back steps, poles with all the trimmings, back steps, paint the houses, and then do this. But I decided doing this is a lot easier than doing the houses. So the houses will get done. They just haven't gotten done right. They haven't gotten done yet. And when they do, I will be happy. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to experiment with Ben's book and see how to get it in full color. It'll be really nice when it's done. But oh, and when I do Lessons in Love, I'm trying out a different size and hoping I can make it that size. Because if I can, yay. But if I can't, then they'll have to be the same size that they've been this whole time, and you know, they're big books. That's the problem. I wanted them what I consider normal book size, and I haven't been able to figure out what that is. But I did find a book that was about the same size, or exactly the same size that of what I was trying to go for, and I found it at Walmart, and I found the dimensions for the book. Oh, that's how I did it. I couldn't remember how I did it last time I was talking about this. So I went to Walmart and I wrote down the book, or I took a picture of it, something like that. Um, anyway, but I wrote down I made a note of the title. I think I took a picture of it. Anyway, I made a note of the title, and then I looked it up on my phone, and I'm like, oh, that's the size. So then I wrote that size down, and I'm gonna try to make it that size, and if I can, then that'll be the size of my books from now on, and yay! But if I can't, then they'll be the same size they always are. But I hope I hope I can make them the smaller size, because maybe it won't take as much to print it. Although maybe it being a odd size will make it cost more to print. I don't know. Or maybe it'll be the same printing and I won't have to worry about it. Um, what else was I gonna say? Oh no, I was just about to say something and I can't remember what it was. It's driving me crazy. It's driving me crazy. I'm having a lot of concentration focus issues. But I don't think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think it's anything, like, oh, that wasn't okay. I don't think it's anything that's, like, medical. It's just that we've got Xboxes and TVs and, and the phone. Yeah, we got all that fun stuff. And it's like, Well, I'm a Christian woman, so I'm going to say it. So, it's like Satan's sitting there going, what can I distract her with this time? Yeah. And then he's like, ooh, the Masked Singer. Yeah, we'll distract her with that. Oh, heck yeah. And you don't really have to watch The Masked Singer, which is kind of annoying. You don't really have to watch them, you just have to listen. But when the clues are on, when it's clue time, you do have to watch it because you might miss something. But I don't take count of, like, I don't go and write down all the clues and try to piece it together. I look at what body shape do they have. Doesn't always work. Especially with Dick Van Dyke's. I think Dick Van Dyke was a gnome or something like that. I think it was a gnome. Anyway, whatever he was. And the costume was a lot bigger than he was. Because he's in his 90s. He's either in his 90s or he reached 100. I don't know. I thought it was really cool when Bob Hope reached 100 years old. They had a big old party. It seemed like he had a million friends. People were up there doing skits and, like, say a scene from a movie, or, they were doing anything to make him feel happy. Unfortunately, I think it was a few days later, or maybe a few months later. Anyway, it wasn't too long after, I think, he passed away. But he reached 100. I kept having a daydream yesterday, that I'm on The Masked Singer just because I can, just because I could be. And, it's always a famous person. So this would definitely be after people have discovered my books and enjoy them and all that. But and I think I'd be the first person to be, not a totally famous person. If I did get that far, I think I'd be like the first book writer. Although maybe they've had J.K. Rowling on there, I don't know. Or or R.A. Salvatore. I don't know if he's still alive or not, and I don't even know if I'm saying his name correctly. I hope I am, though. Anyway, he wrote some really good books, and, that'd be neat if he was on there. Well, I'm assuming it's a he. I don't know. I've always heard he's a he, but, you never know. So. And why would it be R.A.? Why wouldn't he say Robert Andrew or whatever his name is? That is stupid. Maybe he doesn't like his name being Robert or Andrew. Or Robert Allen, or Yeah, I could come up with a few more probably, but or it could be Roberto Alejandro. I don't know. Sounded pretty cool. I don't think it works, but it just doesn't flow off the tongue for me. Um, okay, I'm gonna put. I just want to know how far. Okay, that's at least 7. Might be 14, but I think it was 7. 14. It's about 21. Oi. Anyway, if I can get all the driveways and all the pathways, driveways, and garage doors put in, I'd be pretty happy. Usually stream until 11, but I don't know if I'm going to go that far today because I really want to finish. I keep telling you guys I'm going to finish, and I'm like, that close. What page am I on? Oh, that was great. Okay. File-wise, 251. Okay, I'm working on page 241 right now. For the book itself. So yeah, I have a theory that once I get to 250, I'm going to want to get to 275. And then when I'm at 275, I'm going to want to get to 300. And when I get to 300, I'm going to be like, let's do this. But I don't know. Because like I said, I've been really distracted. But as long as I get it done before the end of the year, I'll be happy. And then I'm either going to be working on... I got 3 options. I either need to work on Test in Love, which goes right after Lessons in Love, or work on Jake's story, which is Finding Love. Because I thought the best way to tackle how to introduce characters and all that is to have a whole book where it's all about that character. So the first one is all about Morgan and has some stuff that happens to Hayden later, but not all of it. And then and then Hayden's book has some of the stuff that happened to Morgan, and then it's all about him, but then there's a new character in there, William. He's only in there for a little bit, and you get to meet Luke as well. But they're not in there very long. So, so later in Hard Times, you meet William and find out why he was there where he was. Um, they were all being held captive a uh, in a mansion by the bad guys. Um, anyway, so in Hard Times you find out why William was there, and in and after Jake's book, there's the missionary. Or no, I think I just busted it down to missionary. um, yeah, I think I just busted it down to missionary instead of being the missionary. But anyway, then you find out why Luke was there, and then I need to figure out who's the next person we introduce. I was gonna work on Mitch, but Mitch doesn't really have that much of a story. I mean, I could come up with one. The thing is that he's the mechanic for the ship, and he's great at fixing cars too. He's great at fixing cars too. So the best thing that I've come up with so far is his dad wanted him to be an officer in the military because he didn't make it as far as officer, and he feels like it was a missed opportunity. And maybe it kind of ruined his life. I don't know. Because I didn't develop his parents enough to figure out. I didn't develop his parents enough to figure out what they do for a living now that he's out of the military. I think I had an idea of they lived in France, so he's fluent in French, but his grandma lives in New York, and his parents had to go and help her, and they don't know when they're coming back or if they're coming back, kind of thing. And Mitch stayed behind to go to school in France. Now, I don't know why we have everybody going to school in France. It just seemed to make sense at the time. And Jake started that whole thing in the first place. Well, Jake and Hayden started that whole thing in the first place because they went there to go to school. I decided that France would have a very good school, and it just happens to be in the town. I used a real town name, unless I change it. I may change it to something that isn't actually a real town, but I'm using it fictionally. because I didn't know what to call it. And I think the word town, like if I used the word town or city or something like that, I think it had too many accent marks and stuff. Um, for I've got it speaking English from America, so I think it had too many accent marks to put in. I don't know. That makes sense if I but I liked the name. I really liked the name, so but what if it doesn't have all of what I'm saying it has? They're gonna be like, I don't know if I want you using this. So yeah. But anyway. So my aunt sent us a package and they just left it out there on the front stoop for all to see, for all to steal if they wanted to. And apparently, yeah, they're pretty close together. Okay, anyway, apparently my um either my aunt or the person who put the last name in there did not get it correct. But other than that, it was a little thing of sausages and stuff, and there's a strawberry candy in there. And anyway, I thought it was a great gesture, even though it's got like sausages and cheese, and I can't nec- I mean, I can have cheese, just I don't want to have so much that it causes problems again. Just in case the whole problem uh isn't fixed yet. I think I think my stomach got like so used to not having regular cheese that it's like a mental thing. Like mentally my stomach's going, no cheese, no, 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 and maybe I can have stuff with cheese again. I don't know. Now, that would be really good if I could if I could just freely have cheese again. Because of the fact that KFC has this chicken bowl thing and it's got mashed potatoes and cheese and corn and um, chicken pieces in it. You know, it's it's really good, but my stomach kept getting rid of it the hard way um, because of the cheese. But we didn't know that I couldn't have cheese at the time. We thought it was COVID or something. But it's also got a lot of grease in it. That's one bad thing. It's got a lot of grease in it. So, it may just be too much for my um stomach to handle. But I liked it. And oh whoa, Costco. Costco has this chicken bake. It's really good too. If if I can have cheese again, I want chicken bakes. They used to have a package with like 8 chicken bakes in it, but it was like $8 or more. But still, they're good, but the only way that we can find out if I can eat it is to try it, and it's like, okay, do I really want do I really want to suffer the consequences if it goes bad? And the answer is no. But, the answer is no. I don't want to suffer the consequences if it goes bad. But if it goes good, then that would be great. And like the there there's I don't know that any of it had cheese in it though. 'Cause I always when I'm eating at certain restaurants, I always get the chicken because usually you can't screw up chicken. Um, if you know otherwise, please don't tell me. But yeah, you usually cannot screw up chicken. So like I'll try the chicken first. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So I usually try their chicken first before I try anything else. Um, like I want to try the little cheeseburgers, or I think they're cheeseburgers. I mean, not Wendy's. I want to try the tendies at Wendy's, but and they've got sea salt on their fries. I don't remember. I don't remember like actually wanting to um like certain fries, you're getting good stuff like at In and Out, and the ones at Burger King are okay, but they're not that horrible quality that I don't like the fries at Dairy Queen. They are literally just okay. They're like you went and got a bag of um they're not crinkle cut, but they're like the crinkle cut ones. I don't like crinkle cut very much. Um they always taste funny. Anyway, I don't like the fries at Dairy Queen, so a whole a whole bunch of times I will go and eat the like we always get the $7 meal deal. The $7 meal deal means that you get a ice cream sundae and a soda and your choice of um 3 chicken strips. I think it needs more, but 3 chicken strips or a burger, and you get fries. Okay, wait. Yeah. Ice cream, drink, fries, and, either chicken or um a burger. So anyway, usually you get that, and I think it needs better fries, but better quality fries, and it needs that. First of all, it needs a bigger burger. Because if we go and order that again and can afford to do so, I'm gonna suggest my husband get another burger. Because it comes with one burger, of course, and if you have 2 burgers, that's even better because it actually fills you up. Um, and I would want to get some more chicken for myself. Um, but anyway, I like that $7 meal deal. But their fries are not very good. I can eat the fries at Burger King and be pretty happy. I can eat the ones at In-N-Out and be happy. I seem to remember I can eat the ones at Wendy's and be happy. I don't know if I can eat the ones at Wendy's, but last time we were there, and that was a long time ago, I could eat them. But there's some other places like I don't remember what Sonic's fries taste like. But anyway, I couldn't eat at Sonic last time because it was like too greasy. And it upset my stomach. I was able to eat something there. I don't know if they had like chicken strips or if it was a burger that I tried, but I could eat that. But there was some element of it that I couldn't eat, so we don't go there very often or at all. We usually go we usually go to In-N-Out, Panda Express, Burger King, and the Costco food court. It is so weird. I can eat the bun from just about anywhere else, and well, the restaurants that we go to. I can eat the bun there, no problem. And then I go and try to eat the bun for the hot dog. There's something wrong with it, according to my stomach. I never noticed anything wrong with it before. But yeah, for some reason, it leaves my tummy having a yucky tummy feeling. So I think most of my food allergies are, well, half of my food allergies are pretty much fixed. Because bread and salt are still on the list. Um, I can pretty much have cheese. My husband said that he's used regular milk in the mac and cheese, and he's used my milk in the mac and cheese, um, and I've been fine. So, because of that, we think I can have dairy products again, which is great. But like I said, and I was able to have as long as I didn't have too much, I was able to have the um, leftover Halloween candy without feeling yucky. For some reason before it was like it was like I was a battery and I was getting drained. It was weird. I've never had that happen before having sugar. But yeah, now I can eat that as long as I don't eat too much. Because like I'll feel like I'm uh yucky tummy feeling. But it didn't make me feel sick or run down or anything like that. So I was pretty happy about that. Actually, I was very happy about that. Okay, so let's see how many houses we have now. Oh, I'm going to be questioning why that is there. Yeah, because go for if I go for the other hour, then I will be at 2 hours and 7 minutes. Um, no, 2 hours and 9 minutes, something like that. Okay. That's what I could do for the next few videos is do the front steps and the front steps, the driveways, and the front steps, the driveways, and the lights. I haven't put in the lights yet either for um for the rest of the streets, and then come back to this. Oh, that's not too bad at all. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay. Oh, I can't tell you because if you haven't seen it and you want to see it and you just haven't gotten to it, then, you know. Anyway, I was surprised to see who the winner of The Masked Singer was for season 13. Yeah, 13. Um, I thought it had been going on longer than that, really, but apparently it's only season 13. Season 14 starts in January. No, I'm not being paid to advertise this. I'm just like really excited. Um, but yeah, I was like really super surprised to figure out who won because they had like this voice and that voice and the voice over here, and they had several different ways that they could sing. And then she did her signature song at the end, and it was like, wow. She didn't quite sound the same because she's older, of course, but it was still awesome. Um, yeah, so I was telling you about this earlier, but I don't know if it was this video or one of the others, but I had okay, so I had certain characters um had Japheth being introduced to William being introduced to Japheth, and um then William introduced Japheth to his wife Kat, and then um it was going to be left at that. She just says pleased to meet you, and that's it. Well, it didn't make any sense because we purposely went and introduced Samantha, Alicia, and John to the storyline, and we're not having them be introduced to anybody. Well, why was that? Because it was in rough draft mode, pretty much. You know how like when you're writing a story, or even when you're writing a report for work or something, you know, you you write a rough draft. You get all the ideas out, and then you fix it later. Well, I don't know what I was thinking, but all of a sudden, yesterday was it's later, which is actually a quote from like the first episode of Full House. That's why I keep saying it that way, because of Full House. So, yeah. There's only one thing a few one things, but they didn't check their facts all the time. So like they've got him quoting one Dr. Seuss book and reading from another. And then they both have um I I don't know if it was Horton Hears a Who or if it was um Daisy Head. No, it could have been Daisy Head Maisie. I kept saying Horton Hears a Who and Horton Hatches the Egg. But um but I think he had that line in Daisy Head Maisie too. I never okay, weird fact about me, I never read a Dr. Seuss book until I had a little brother. Because for some reason my mom wanted to get him all the Dr. Seuss books. She didn't get me any of the Dr. Seuss books, but she got them for him. So if I was gonna get, like if I was gonna get um a um like if I was gonna make a keepsake box for stuff that reminds me of Mama, it would have to have an Elvis movie in it, and it would probably have a copy of Green Eggs and Ham, and I believe it's one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. Because you know, mom read those to my brother, and I learned to love Dr. Seuss from Green Eggs and Ham, which rhymes. And the reason why I'm pointing that out is because you go and try to read The Grinch Stole Christmas, and there's some parts in there where it rhymes. There's some parts in there where it does not rhyme. And I'm like, but it's supposed to rhyme. It's a Dr. Seuss book. And yeah, like I said, I had not been reading them all my life like some children have. And I tried to and speaking of that, I tried to read Where the Sidewalk Ends. That didn't work out either. um and the keepsake box would probably have to have it would definitely have to have a picture of a can of Coca-Cola or a 20-ounce bottle, or something, some kind of Coca-Cola. Mama would not stop um drinking Coca-Cola. She was starting to, but she wouldn't do it. And then me and my sister, for a while there, were trying to stop drinking, at the very least, dark sodas. I think we do better with the hey, what's that? so so I've got a YouTube video playing in the background, and all of a sudden, the screen reflected in my phone, and it looked like everything was on fire. And then I look up, and he's just going through a dark, scary cave. But there could have been lava or fire or something on the screen. Oh, he's playing Minecraft. That might help to explain. Yeah, he's going through this dark, scary cave, and all of a sudden it reflected on my phone, and I was like, what was that? So, yeah. Um, oh, I would definitely have to have a Nintendo controller. Um, Original Nintendo, sorry. Original Nintendo controller and a picture, well, at least a picture of it. Um, cause it was so funny. Um, we did it too, but we made fun of mom, and that wasn't very nice. I realize, but we made fun of our mom because like she'd be trying to get Mario, from Super Mario Brothers, the original, uh, on the original Nintendo. She'd be trying to get Mario to jump, and she'd jump along with him. You know, everybody's done it, and we always made fun of mom for doing that, and it was not nice. And I realize this, but thinking about it now, it's kind of funny. There's just so much stuff that reminds me of my mom. Oh, and the library. I'd have to have a picture of the library, inside and out. And if it's still there, and I hope it is, they had a rose. Uh, they had a bunch of roses, and I guess there were rose bushes. Not entirely sure, but I'm guessing there were rose bushes. And oh, I guess we're gonna go to 11 then. I'm gonna get my story done. So anyway, they had these rose bushes, and they had a path in between them, and so it kind of reminded me of Alice in Wonderland. She's going down the path, and she can't really see what's going on either side, and it was a very simple maze, but to me it was like a maze, and if you went the one way, you got lost and uh, had to back up and try again. Um, but if you went the other way, you went in basically a complete circle. It was probably a ovalish shape, but um, you know, anyway, you got out, and my mom usually always let me go in there. Sometimes we didn't have enough time for some reason. I don't see why we wouldn't have had enough time. It's not like Mama had a job or anything, but she'd let me go in there and just uh I didn't always want to run around it more than once. I usually just wanted to do it the one time and be done with it. And oh, because okay, I was starting to put uprights to tell me to put in the lights. Yeah. Um. Oh, and a thing of original Jolly Ranchers. They were hard candies, and I don't know why they mostly don't have them anymore. They'll have them in like maybe Halloween candies. They might have them somewhere, but they mostly have them in like say Halloween candy or a bag of mixed candy at um dollar store, Dollar Tree. Um, You know, I keep thinking I want to go to, I said my husband has $60 left. I want to go to Dollar General and try to get the raspberry tea again. And I keep wanting to go there and buy every single bottle they have. And I think somebody has that same idea because sometimes I go there and there's nothing. Because I know I like the raspberry tea. Um, so that's the one I buy. I haven't tried their blood orange or I think there's something with raspberries in it. Blueberries. Blueberries, raspberry. Maybe it's blue raspberry. I don't know, something like that. Um, but I know I like the raspberry one, so that's when I buy. But they didn't have it last time, so I think there's one that's something watermelon. I would try it if it was just straight up watermelon tea, but there's another ingredient in there like watermelon grapefruit or something like that. And I'm not willing to try that. I think they have a lemon one. It's just regular tea and it's got lemon with it, but I've never had lemon with my tea. At least I don't think I have. We'll just go with that I haven't. Anyway. Yeah, I pretty much ran out of stuff to say. Okay. Um, yeah, I pretty much ran out of stuff to say. So, Jordan Martin 02 followed me 2 hours ago. And Carolyn Stark followed me 2 days ago. Venom0600 followed me 4 days ago. I don't understand that because it says Jordan Martin 02 followed me 9 days ago. Also, how's that work? Anyway, Skylar _ Rain followed me 16 days ago. And MIKUNAKANOMY Love 39 followed me 20 days ago. I love giving shout outs. I really do. So for your clicking the thing to say follow, you get a shout out. And I love giving shout outs. It's my way of saying thank you. Because I know that I would probably still be streaming and I would probably still be making videos. I gotta admit that. But I would probably be less happy about it because, people wouldn't be watching me, necessarily. But, I very much appreciate every single person who does watch any part of one of my videos. Because I realize there's people like me who are so busy that they can't do this all the time. Watching the Minecraft videos, but it's really cool because some of my Minecraft videos, I'm like, this is so huge. they're not going to watch it, you know. And and it says that somebody did watch it. And I'm always like, wow, that is so cool. Um, and then there's other videos that, like I've got Disneyland Adventures on Sundays, and I've got um, Disneyland Adventures on Sundays, Minecraft Mondays, um, back backgammon, zoo, uh, hold on, backgammon and Roblox, and I'm probably gonna give up on Zoo Tycoon except for once a month when I need it for Game Pass. Because I spend 95% of my time um, doing the garbage, and I have not figured out how to get the maintenance guys to do the garbage for me, and it's driving me nuts. On Roller Coaster Tycoon, you could have it, you could have them pick up the garbage, so then you had more time to make the guests happy. And I kept having the problem of, I keep having the problem of I've got to pick up the trash all the time. That's not what I signed up for. I signed up for making a zoo. Maybe it's one of those things where if I keep advertising, and, keep. Maybe it's one of those things where if I keep, researching, that's the buzzword I meant to use. Maybe if I keep researching, then I'll have the ability eventually. But I looked in the building, not inside the building, I went through the menu that comes up when you go to the building. And there just does not seem to be a way to get them to throw the garbage, even though it's the custodian's job to throw the garbage. Maybe I'm missing somebody. Maybe there's like another building that I can build, and that'll be the garbage people. I don't know. But I think the guys that sweep the floor ought to have to do it because I think that's their job. Anyway, then I have Disneyland Adventures on Wednesdays, GTA and Forza Horizon 5 on Thursdays. Well, it's supposed to be and Forza Horizon 5, but most of the time it ends up that I do GTA because I've kind of hit a spot on Forza Horizon 5 where it's not as fun as it used to be because I don't have any more races and stuff that I can do, and it's not saying go to the next level or anything like that, so like I've got nothing to do. I've got stuff to do, but it's more those sets of races, and you have to do all the sets of races at the same time, otherwise it doesn't count, or at least it doesn't seem to count. And I think it doesn't count. But I'm not good enough at those races to get them done the first time. Anyway, it's just getting frustrating. So then on Fridays, I've got, um, but I don't have the little thing for that. That's why I was doing it this way. Okay, anyway, on Fridays, golf with your friends and Pac-Man. And if we were to play, if we were to install Overcooked 2 again, um, if we were to install Overcooked 2 again, that's the day it would be on too. And then Saturday is Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. So I've got all these games that I like to play. Oh, um, and there's I'll think of it. Hold on. Space Invaders that I haven't added to the list yet. You know, like I don't play it all the time, but I was doing pretty good. That's more of one that I would probably play a little less often, even though I enjoy it and I was doing good. Um, but yeah. Um, oh, and I've got a new project which will probably end up being posted on Mondays. But I've got a new project on Minecraft Preview because apparently it's a Game Pass game. So that one will be worked on about once a month. I think we're building an upside down tower. I'm not sure. Like I may get up to a certain tower height. I want to make it um I want to make it go all the way up to the height limit, but like I may get all the way up there and decide all of a sudden that I wanted to build um like an Eiffel Tower kind of thing where the restaurant is up, is way up above the ground as seen on one of the Rush Hour movies. I don't know if it's okay. I don't know if it's Rush Hour 2 or 3, but it's the one where you find out that the little girl from the first movie has grown up and is kidnapped by the bad guys. I think I think she was kidnapped by the bad guys. Anyway, I think they were trying to unalive her, and yeah, I haven't seen that one in a long time. So trying to remember it is, yeah, not helping. Um, but yeah, I haven't seen it in a long time. So anyway, I was pretty proud of myself. I got the chapter done. And really, the chapter should have been done the day before, but, you know, I think, I seriously think that, like, God was having me hold on, get the divine inspiration that I needed, and, and get it done better. And there is actually one spot in there where it didn't read the word A in the audio version. It didn't read the word A, and I'm gonna have to go back and fix that. But I was like, I've already done all these pages. I'm not redoing that page. No way, no sir. But if you do use AI voices to help you write your story your um or your whatever else you're um like maybe you're doing a voiceover for one of your videos. Um and you need it to say the word A, and it just skips over it because it's a one letter um it's a one letter word. You can use EIGH, because then all of a sudden it's four letters, and for some reason it can see it. It is so weird. It will not see it if it's just A. Sometimes, most of the time, it will not see it if it's just the word, just the word A or the letter A. It's a letter and a word, so. But anyway, it will not see it. But if you do EIGH, like the letter 8, I mean, like the word 8, EIGHT, if you put EIGH, then you can get to say it correctly. I am very good at messing up words. Like Alicia. Normally it's Alicia, and it kept saying Alicia, Alicia, and I don't know why it was saying that, because like 3 days ago she was saying Alicia the whole time. She was saying it correctly, and then all of a sudden the next day she was saying Alicia. So I don't know what happened, but that's what happened. So I mean, that was the situation. So I started spelling it Aleesha. And all of a sudden she says Alicia again. Um what else? Oh, Japheth. Japheth is one of the characters in my book, and he's a honorary cousin, so not blood related, but he's been in the family that long that they used to be on the they used to be part of Morgan's mother's crew when she had the pirate ship. Well, okay. Um, I'll get my brain back in a second. Yeah, I lost it. Never mind. Unless I get back again. Oh, they used to be kids on her mother's ship, and um, and so she was introducing him to William, which I don't know why it would be William, but introduced him to William. She forgets to. No, I think they. Yeah, she did introduce him to her husband, Hayden. Um, a little bit later than that. But anyway, um, Japheth is normally Japeth. Well, AI cannot say that, or at least certain voices cannot. It's not always it's not always that all of the voices cannot say it. It's usually just that the one voice cannot say it. With the program that I'm using Speechalo. Um, SP Yeah, Speechelo, if you want to look it up. I'm not being paid to advertise them either, but I do like their program, and it's one of those that's supposed to put emotion into the voices. It doesn't always get it right, but it's a lot better than what I was using before. I'm sorry, natural reader, but it is a lot better. Natural reader is great if you don't need to, um, if you don't need it to have emotion, you just need it to read the story to you, and you can put your whole entire story in. With Speechalo, you put in 20,000 characters at a time. And so you may be able to put the whole entire chapter in there, you may not. Um, anyway, we're at 10:34. And I've still run out of stuff to talk about. Oh, so I don't know which video I was talking about it in, but one of the um for graduation, my son just wanted to go to see Star Wars Land, and then I got off on a tangent about Star Wars Land. Um, Not a tangent, because a tangent usually means that you're screaming and yelling about it. I just got it off. Our pastor used to call it chasing rabbits. It's when you're telling one story or you're preaching, and then all of a sudden you're telling this story that has to do with it, but doesn't have sounds. It doesn't sound like it has anything to do with that at the time. Um, but anyway, he wanted to go to Disneyland to see Star Wars Land because he'd never been there before. He'd been to Disneyland before, but he'd never been to Star Wars Land. They were still building it when he went the first time. So, my dad has been to Disneyland, I don't know how many times, but at least 10, maybe more. And I don't remember what they were trying to find. Probably Star Wars Land. But I don't know what they were trying to find. But because of Fresh Baked, that's another one that goes to Disneyland quite often. Very often, at least 3 days a week. I think. I think he said 3 days a week. And he's got like if you have both of them, he's got Just Ride the Rides Day, and um he's got the part where he's like trying to figure out, is this a good day to go on Space Mountain? Is it gonna take 15 minutes or an hour? Whatever. But anyway, because of Fresh Baked, uh, David at Fresh Baked, um, because of him, my dad didn't remember how to get where they were going. And because of Fresh Baked, my son was able to say, we need to go this way. And they went that way and they found what they were looking for. So that was really cool. I did ask him to do me a big favor though, and it was something for him. Um, I asked him to make sure that he went on some of the other rides too. There's only 2 rides in Star Wars Land that I know of. Um, so I know one ride somewhere in Disney is Rise of the Resistance. I think that's in Star Wars Land. But I don't know what the other one is. And I mean, I can't think of the name for the other one. And then there's Star Tours, but that's in Tomorrowland. And technically, if there's gonna be, or if there already is, you know, people from other planets and space vehicles and all that, it could be a Tomorrowland thing. But you know, there's enough people that are saying Star Tours is outdated. It should be in Star Wars Land, stuff like that. And it's like, well, yeah, it probably should. I don't know. When Tomorrowland was first opened, submarines were like new, and and not everybody had a car. I know it sounds weird, but not everybody had a car. So that's why Autopia and they were like coming out with new cars every day and well, it seemed like it. I wasn't born then, but it like seemed like um they were coming out with new cars all the time and like all that stuff in Tomorrowland was new. Well, now, except for Space Mountain, um, well, yeah, except for Space Mountain and Star Tours, most of that stuff, you know, technically shouldn't be there, but I like it. I probably wouldn't go on that one at the very entrance of Tomorrowland, because it goes around in circles, but or at least I'd go on it once to say, okay, look, we did it. But I like doing other stuff like Alice in Wonderland, Peter Pan, Pinocchio, Snow White, um, Jungle Cruise. Although I'm gonna be holding my ears when they say the backside of water, or I'll just try not to cringe when he says it. I liked it better back when, um, way uh, like back in '86 and I believe it was that way in '89, '92, and 2000. They did not say the backside of water. They said, well, actually, I don't know what they said on the Jungle Cruise in 2000, so we'll just go with the other 3. Um, I went in '86, '89, and '92. Um, so we'll stick with those. We'll stick with those ones. Um, they always said something about you know we're going we're going out on our journey, or um, that's probably not a direct quote at all whatsoever. But anyway, they said something about during the trip if we capsize and I didn't know what capsize meant at the time, but if we capsize, um, you're sitting on the green cushions, and they say the red ones are the only ones that float. I liked that. And when you got to Schweitzer Falls the first time, you're going in front of it, of course, the front side of it, and they said, "Oh my gosh, it's Schweitzer Falls," and they're all excited about it, and then um, and I think there was something about hope we don't get sucked in or something like that. Um, hope we don't get too close because the boat will suffer for it, kind of thing. Um, then we go behind it, and there was like an intenseness, worrying whether we're gonna make it or not, something like that. Anyway, I liked it a lot better. I will try to remember to watch that later and see. Oh, I don't think I have that. Um, yeah, I don't think I have the Jungle Cruise. Oh, the Jungle Cruise was on the 89 one. That was the first trip of me going to okay, so the first trip had Mama and Dad and me. And then the second trip in 89 had Mom, Dad, my sister and my brother, and me. Well, age-wise, my brother, my sister, and me. Um, I I'm the oldest out of all of my siblings. Um, technically, my first two siblings are step siblings, but I never call them that. And then technically, my uh my other two siblings, my younger two siblings are from their dad and our mama, and so they're my half siblings, but I don't call them that either. They're just sisters and brothers. So it's like, we may have, um, like with the one we may have separate dads, and then the other one we may have separate mom. Wait, yeah, no, um, okay, the first two, we've got separate everything. Never mind. anyway, anyway, because their mom and their dad got together and made that, I mean, gave the extra special kisses, and they were born. And then that's why I call it my story, because I don't want to say, I don't want to come out and say something that's not streaming friendly in my books. You will never find me, unless I go insane. You will never find me putting um, non-streaming friendly words in my uh, books either. I'll, like if somebody kicks the coffee table, that only happens in one book, but if somebody kicks the coffee table, uh, I'll say Jesse yelled his favorite cuss word, you know, or his favorite curse word, however I put it. Um, that way, if your favorite curse word starts with a F, then he's yelling that. If your favorite curse word is um, starts with an S, then it'll be that. Um, yeah, I was going to give another example, but everybody knows what that one is, so anyway. um, like, I don't even really like putting, I don't know if I'm allowed to say on loud stream, but I do it all the times, and I haven't gotten yelled at yet, so, um, every once in a while, I'll put damn in my book, but that's not that bad. That's not as bad as the others. And somebody was making an example that I can't remember. We were just talking about this the other day. I think my husband was in that conversation too. Um, I think he was telling. I think he was the one telling me. But anyway, she was trying to tell the class that they're just words. They're being used inappropriately. But I don't think so. We always grew up knowing that those words were bad. But then on the other hand, you get to be an adult and you learn a different way of using those words. And it's like, oh, okay. Because, like, the one that starts with a B and ends with an H, that is a perfectly fine term if you're in um like Britain and places around there, because that is a female dog. So literally when you're calling somebody that, that's what you're calling them. Doesn't it seem like such a horrible thing when you know what the word is supposed to be for, you know? And how it got to be a bad word over here and it's an okay word over there, I have no idea. I mean, because that word is in Harry Potter books. At least the American versions. Um, in I'm not going to say it the way she said it though. I want to say Prisoner of Azkaban. It's the chapter where Harry blows up his aunt. Might have been Chamber of Secrets, but anyway, one of those two books has the chapter where Harry blows up his aunt, and I was gonna say Aunt Petunia. That's not it. Aunt Marge. I think her name is. Yeah, Aunt Marge coming here. Okay, I've listened to I've listened to all of the Harry Potter books um on CD for I don't know how long. Well, not CD as much. I've got it on I mean I had it on audio tape for the longest time. If you do not know what an audio tape is, please look it up on Google because I think they may have the answer. I know what the answer is, just in fact, if you had a thing at the bottom of the tape, I don't know. I think the bottom is one of those terms where if you think of it this way, it's the top, and if you think of it this way, it's the bottom. I'm not entirely sure. It's like if you're facing toward your friend your right hand is going to touch their left hand, and your left hand is going to touch their right hand, kind of thing. But anyway, not the side um, with the plastic film stuff. It was the other end. Anyway, if you had it a certain, if it still had the tabby doodles in it, yeah. See, this is Street 7. If it still had the tabby doodles in it, you could record over what was on the tape. And if it didn't have the tabby doodles, then you just listen to it and you can't record over it. And I don't remember why I was telling you that. Oh, probably just because it was something to say. Anyway. Anyway, I used to listen to Harry Potter a lot on audio tape. And so, yeah, I remember Aunt March coming here. Um, I don't know. Because I was gonna say that maybe it was Chamber of Secrets, but Chamber of Secrets was the one with the pudding. And and the introduction of Dobby. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I can't wait to get back to my I'm sorry, but I cannot wait to get back to my story because Jonah just opened the door and something happened. I'm not telling you what because I want you to read the book. But something happened, and then something happened to Sean too. And yeah, I can't wait to have all of you read it. Because books make great Christmas presents. It gets people off the devices. And, it doesn't last forever, of course, but it helps save their eyesight. At least a little bit. Although, if they already wear glasses, then, it won't help save their eyesight that much, but hopefully it will be awesome and great. Okay, so and currently, I never say this because I'm afraid of scaring people off, but currently most of my books are hold on, let me look it up real quick. I don't know if I can get it to tell me. Okay, so for Pirate's Daughter, the Kindle book is $3.05. The paperback is $15, and the hardcover is $26. For Misfortune, and this is something you're not going to get from, most other YouTubers. They don't want to scare you off with the prices, so they just tell you, hey, buy my merch. But, yeah, I'm willing to go out on a limb and tell you what they cost. Misfortune, the Kindle version is $5. Paperback, $20. Hardback, $26. Hard Times, Kindle version is $5. Paperback is $20. Hardback is $26. Esperanza's Party, the Kindle version is $3.05. Paperback $20. Hardcover $24. The Island Kindle is $5. Paperback is $20. And hardcover is $25. And then they would not let me do a hardcover for Adopted Coral. And so the Kindle version is $2.99. And the paperback copy is $6. So really totally affordable, I think. And I know the prices are a little ridiculous, but that's just so I get, I think I get $2 from the Kindle. Yeah, I think I get $2, like $2.05, something like that, from the Kindle. And from the paperbacks, I get like $5. Nobody has bought a hardcover yet, so I don't know how much I get from that. But I am happy that I can do this and, make money off of it. And I can be home for my cats. I know that's, everybody says cats are, loner creatures, they like to be alone. And it's like, no, actually, they don't. Our, well, okay, Bobby kind of does, but, our boys were brought up to be cuddly little guys, um, and I think it's a lot safer for Bobby at the moment because I am home. Um, she she is on the fence whether she likes the boys or not because Ben's making lovely progress on getting her to be friendly with them, and then Sam goes and screws it up by chasing her and scaring her half to death. So, um, maybe not half to death, but okay. So I'm gonna put this right here. We're gonna see how many more we have to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, way too many, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32 houses left to do that with. Okay. So yeah, we'll just keep going. I mean, not keep going. We'll stop for the moment and come back later. Although some of them have it already, so maybe it won't be so bad. I don't know. Okay, so not all of these need it. But enough of them. Okay. Well, anyway, so we will finish chapter 58, hopefully today. I just started it. I've got 6 pages to go out of 7. Unless I bust it down even further. Because like that's that scene at the house that I'm not gonna tell you about. So once you read the book, um, there's that scene, and then I think they're gonna end up outside. So them leaving the mansion, that can be in this chapter, but the next part, I don't know if I want that to be in this chapter or if I want this to be in a separate chapter. Because technically, I do it by scene. So, like, what's a movie that I know by heart? Well, Grease. Grease is something I know by heart. So, like, okay, she starts out at school. So that would be one chapter. And then she's at the bonfire seeing Danny for the first time uh, since summer, and that would be another chapter. And he's a big jerk in that chapter, just so you know. Um, I can't think of what happens after that. Oh, the slumber party happens after that. That would be another chapter. And then, well, that part with Danny and he walks away from his friends. That would go to the part where he Kaneki tells his other 2 friends to go away too, and him and Rizzo go off on a date in the car. So that would go to that part. And then I can't remember what happens after that. I do know this, I'm like, if you went and tried to rearrange the scenes, I would know. I mean, I've been watching that movie since July of 1978. I mean, technically I wasn't watching it, I was listening to it, but because I wasn't born yet, but I was the only one that went to the movie theater with Mom. You've heard me say that 1,000 times, I'm sure. But anyway, so I don't know if I want to break it up or if I want to just keep it all in one. Anyway, so I told you about my books, and I said if you were watching me on Twitch, do this, and if you're watching me on YouTube, do that. I think I'm going to throw that in there again anyway, though. So if you're watching me on Twitch right now, please follow and chat. And if you're watching me on YouTube right now, please like, share, comment, subscribe, notification bell. We were up to 517 subscribers on YouTube. That is so cool. Thank you. I'm loving that. I really am. I'm loving that. I just wish we could get those valid public watch hours up, because then we could get, that's not my goal. I mean, that wasn't my goal. That's not like the only thing motivating me is to get money, but, I would be able to get some money from that, and then if I can get it up to the second tier, if it's anything like Twitch, it's supposed to go into like a savings account thing, and then you get to pull it out when you get to that second tier, that second section. But I don't know if that's how YouTube works or not, or if it's just like, you're making some money the first time and then you're making more money the second time. I don't know. But anyway, I would like to get to that point because that would be really awesome. But then, like, when you go and put in your taxes, do you put that you're a content creator, or do you put in that you're a book writer, or you put a book writer content creator. That's probably what I'll put. If if I start making enough money to actually file taxes, that's probably what I'll put. Um, um, Book author, content creator. Anyway, sorry about that. Um, anyway, so we need the valid public watch hours up. Um, to help me get to my ultimate goal of getting paid to do this. Um, well, my ultimate goal is to convince people to buy my books, and so far I'm not doing so great on that. But um, I know it's winter now, so if I can find a warm enough outfit, maybe I can go out there with the snow and um, go out there with the snow and make a really cute commercial for my books. But I'm probably just gonna keep doing it in the middle of my video. I mean, somewhere in my video. Um, anyway, I will see you in the next stream or video.